So I spent a lot of time trying to figure out what in the world I was going to stand up here and say to y'all today. The thought of encapsulating my global college experience in a 7-minute time slot was almost laughable. And, you know, was I going to do it through film? Was I going to do it through photography, through words? I couldn't figure it out. But no matter what mental route I took or what I imagined for this 7-minute spiel, I kept coming back to the image of a clay pot. In India, in the ancient wisdom of India, there's a saying, and it goes, do not fill an unbaked pot with the sacred soma juice. Right? Do not fill an unbaked pot with the sacred soma juice. It is explained that if you pour the sacred juices or the nectar into a pot that is unbaked, the pot won't be able to hold it, it will spill. But rather, the pot needs to be molded by the hands of its maker, and then it needs to be laid out and dried in the sun, and then it needs to be baked into the fire. And only after that can it be ready to hold the sacred juice. And this is very much a metaphor, I think, for our life and for our own self. And when I first arrived in India a couple years ago, I think I very much resembled an unbaked pot. But I had one desire that I wanted to fulfill when I went to India. And it was just this desire that was just always going on in my head for years. And it was to take a bath, a ceremonial bath in the Ganges River. And I read about it, I dreamed about it. It's all I wanted to do in India. So when we reached Varanasi, which is an ancient holy city, and it happens to be one of the most sacred places Hindus believe to take the ceremonial bath in the Ganges River, which Hindus worship as a living form of the goddess. So when I reached Varanasi, one morning I decided I would go and finally fulfill that desire. So I woke up before dawn and I put on my sari, and I was meeting 2 Indian friends from Varanasi who were going to take me down to the banks and sort of help me find a priest to do the proper prayers and ritual and assist me in taking this sacred bath. And they were late, and so I had some time to sit on the steps of my hostel that was, like, you know, buried in the ancient alleyways of Kashi. It's called the City of Light in Varanasi. And as I was sitting there, I just sort of entered into this meditation. I'm like, you know, Harry? I was just thinking about, like, how did I get here? Or, you know, what led me to be sitting, you know, on the steps in this ancient city about to bathe in the waters of this great goddess? And what did it even mean? What did I read about? Like, what was the spiritual significance or the reasoning behind taking a bath in the Ganges River? And I recalled some of, you know, the words that certain people had passed along to me and things that I had read about the bath and what it symbolized. And what I had learned was that, you know, one who bathes in the Ganges, you know, just one bath, especially in Varanasi, can absolve one of all their sins, from accumulated over many lifetimes. It can wash one's spirit clean. It can, you know, remove these impurities that we carry along with us and these negative karmas that we create and generate over time, over many lives. And so with that in mind, I sort of just put my hands in prayer, and I just prayed to Mother Ganga that, you know, this bath would be exactly that it would be the spiritual cleansing that it, you know, is proclaimed to be, that it would wash me of all of this stuff that I realized, you know, like, it never leaves you. We carry this, you know, we carry these grudges and this anger, this, you know, the tragedies of our life, no matter how far we go, no matter, you know, what corner of the world we end up in, you know, we still always carry those things. And I just wanted to be free of them, to you know, unlock those chains and just have this, like, spiritual rebirth or something. And so I offered those prayers up, and my friends came, and I went and I took my bath. And within a 72-hour period after I took my bath, I ended up traveling to another very holy place in India on my own, away from the group, called Allahabad. And it was there that I met the man who would ask me to marry him a year later. So I met my future husband. I also met the Indian man, a great saint and yogi, who would take me as his disciple and he would become my guru. And I was admitted into a hospital where I laid for 9 days and almost died. And then I was flown out of India. So if that is not a spiritual cleansing, I really do not know what is. I mean, husband, guru, and death. I mean, like, she heard my prayers for sure. It's just wild. But to go back to the image that I started with of a clay pot, you know, I think that just as the clay pot needs to be baked in fire, so too do we need to be baked in the fires of our own life. If we are going to, you know, come to a place of true wisdom, of genuine understanding, of compassion, you know, we have to hold on to the remembrance that no matter how painful these fires might be, they're what are readying us to be filled with something much greater, much higher. And we need to go through them just as the clay pot does in order to be filled with the sacred juices of life. And, you know, I really want to thank Global College and my family and my loved ones for allowing me to jump into those fires and to be baked, because I wouldn't be standing here today the person that I am, with the knowledge that I have, hopefully a little bit of wisdom, if I hadn't gone through those experiences. And, you know, Global College, it allowed me to see and to touch and to feel, you know, the extreme poverty that exists in our world, and it allowed me to be touched by it. And it allowed me to see and to touch and to feel the love of a stranger, the unconditional love of a stranger, and to therefore be touched by it. And I think that that is just so important, you know, to actually feel and live through these things and not just read about them, to truly be baked in the fire of our life. And it may never end. The fires, I don't think, ever do end, but I think if we hold on to the remembrance that they're just readying us for something greater, for the sacred soma juice, then, you know, we can all make it through. So with that, I offer my humble thanks to my loved ones and to Global College and to all of you beautiful people